In this video, we're diving deep into the subtle yet powerful phrases women use when they're starting to develop feelings for you. These aren't just random words, they're carefully chosen expressions that reveal her growing emotional connection. By learning to recognize these signs, you'll be able to tell exactly when her feelings for you are shifting, even if she doesn't say it outright. But before we get into the 6 key phrases, let's talk about how to start recognizing them. The first step is to listen, really listen. Many of these signs come in the form of seemingly casual comments, but they carry much deeper meaning. This video is here to help you decode these hidden messages and respond in a way that strengthens the bond between you and her. If you're ready to take your understanding of relationships to the next level, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Here, we explore the psychology of relationships, communication, and personal growth tools that can improve not only your romantic life but every relationship in your life. Stick around until the end of the video because I'll share an additional bonus tip that will take your understanding even further. By the end of this video, you won't just know what these 6 phrases are, you'll understand why they matter and how to respond to them in a way that makes you unforgettable. Let's get started. 1. I've never told anyone this before. One of the most revealing phrases a woman might use when she's developing feelings for you is, "I've never told anyone this before." At first glance, it may seem like a casual statement, but it's much more than that. This phrase is a powerful indicator of trust and vulnerability. When a woman chooses to share something deeply personal with you, she's not just opening up, she's inviting you into her world. Pay close attention to how and when this phrase is used. It often accompanies a story or detail she feels hesitant about sharing with others. She's testing the waters, hoping you'll respond with empathy and understanding. When a woman says this, she's signaling 2 key things. She feels safe with you. Sharing personal or sensitive information isn't something anyone does lightly. It takes courage and a sense of emotional security to open up, and the fact that she's doing this with you means she values the connection you've built. She's trying to deepen the bond. By sharing something private, she's creating an opportunity for you to reciprocate and build a shared sense of intimacy. It's her way of saying, "I trust you enough to show you a part of myself that others don't get to see." From a psychological perspective, this phrase taps into the concept of emotional vulnerability. Research shows that vulnerability is a key component of building trust and intimacy. When someone shares something personal, they're essentially saying, "Here's a part of me that I don't show to the world. Can I trust you with it?" Women, in particular, tend to value emotional connections in relationships. Sharing personal stories is a way to test if you're someone who can handle deeper conversations and provide a safe emotional space. How to respond? Give her your full attention. Put your phone away, make eye contact, and show her that you're genuinely listening. Validate her feelings. Say something like, "That's really brave of you to share," or "I'm honored you trust me with that." Reciprocate if appropriate. Share something personal in return. This doesn't mean you have to match her level of vulnerability right away, but showing that you're willing to open up too will deepen the connection. Follow up later. If she shared something significant, bring it up in a future conversation to show that you remembered and cared. When a woman says, "I've never told anyone this before," it's not just a phrase, it's a window into her emotions. It's a sign that she's developing feelings for you and wants to build a deeper connection. Recognizing and responding to this phrase with care can strengthen your bond and take your relationship to the next level. 2. You're so different from other guys. When a woman says, "You're so different from other guys," it's not just a compliment, it's a sign she's paying attention to the unique qualities that set you apart. At its core, This phrase reflects admiration and curiosity. She's noticed something special about you, and she wants you to know it. This phrase often comes up in moments when you've demonstrated a trait or behavior that stands out. Maybe it's your kindness, your intellect, or your sense of humor. Whatever it is, she's signaling that you've made an impression and that she's comparing you favorably to others in her life. On the surface, this might seem like a generic compliment, but it's much deeper than that. When a woman says you're different from other guys, she's expressing that you've exceeded her expectations. This could be because of the way you handle challenges, the way you treat her, or how you carry yourself with confidence and authenticity. It's also a sign that she's been reflecting on your interactions. Women don't typically compare men unless they're thinking about how you fit into their lives. This phrase suggests that she's evaluating you on a deeper level, considering you as someone who could potentially hold a special place in her life. From a psychological perspective, this phrase ties into the concept of selective attention. When someone is interested in you, their brain naturally focuses on the things that make you unique and memorable. By pointing out what sets you apart, she's acknowledging that you stand out in a crowded field of potential suitors. How to respond? Acknowledge the compliment. Say something like, "Thank you, that really means a lot," or even ask, "What makes you say that?" This gives her a chance to elaborate on what she admires about you, deepening the conversation and connection. Show confidence. Accept praise graciously. It's a trait that women find incredibly attractive. When she says, "You're so different from other guys," don't brush it off. Instead, engage with it and show her that you appreciate her admiration. 3. What do you think about? When a woman begins asking for your opinion on personal or meaningful topics, it's not just casual conversation, it's a strong sign she values your thoughts and is emotionally invested in your perspective. A phrase like "What do you think about?" might seem simple, but it's packed with deeper meaning. She might ask about your thoughts on relationships, life goals, or even controversial topics. Why? Because she's trying to gauge your values, priorities, and whether they align with hers. More importantly, she's showing that your opinion matters to her, which is a significant indicator of growing feelings. When a woman asks for your opinion, it's her way of including you in her thought process. This isn't something women typically do with people they feel indifferent about. Asking for your input shows she respects your judgment and sees you as someone whose perspective she wants to understand. For instance, if she asks, "What do you think about marriage?" or "How do you feel about traveling abroad?" she's subtly exploring your compatibility. It's her way of testing whether your views align with her long-term goals. This phrase also reflects trust. She's opening the door for meaningful conversations and wants to see how you navigate deeper topics. This level of communication often signifies an emotional connection that goes beyond surface-level interactions. How to respond? Offer a thoughtful response. Avoid giving generic answers or dismissing her questions as unimportant. Instead, offer a well-considered response that reflects your values and personality. Ask her opinion in return. Say something like, "What about you? What do you think?" This shows that you're equally interested in her perspective, which builds reciprocity and mutual respect. When a woman asks, "What do you think about?" it's a doorway to deeper emotional intimacy. Pay attention to this phrase, it's a sign she's developing feelings for you. 4. I feel so comfortable around you. When a woman says, "I feel so comfortable around you," it's one of the clearest signs that she's emotionally invested. Comfort is a cornerstone of any meaningful connection, and when she explicitly states this, it means you've created a safe space where she can be her authentic self. This phrase carries deeper implications than it appears on the surface. When she says she feels comfortable around you, it indicates that she's lowered her guard. In the early stages of attraction, people often present an idealized version of themselves. However, when she feels truly at ease, she's willing to let go of that facade and show you her genuine personality. It also signals emotional safety. Comfort arises when she trusts that you won't judge her, dismiss her feelings, or betray her trust. This is a major milestone in any relationship because it's only when a woman feels secure that she allows herself to form a deeper connection. This phrase reflects compatibility. Comfort isn't just about safety, it's also about alignment. It means your personalities, communication styles, and values resonate with her on a fundamental level. How to respond? Acknowledge it with appreciation. Say something like, "That means a lot to me," or "I'm glad you feel that way." This reinforces her feelings and shows that you value the connection you've built. When a woman says, "I feel so comfortable around you," it's a powerful indicator of trust and emotional connection. Recognizing and nurturing this comfort can lead to a deeper, more meaningful relationship. 5. I was thinking about you. When a woman says, "I was thinking about you," it's more than just a casual remark, it's a window into her growing feelings. This phrase shows that you've occupied her mind in a meaningful way, even when you're not around. Whether she's bringing up something that reminded her of you or simply letting you know that you crossed her thoughts, this statement reveals that she values your presence and the connection you share. It's a clear sign that you're becoming a significant part of her emotional world. This phrase is a subtle yet powerful indicator of emotional attachment. When someone is developing feelings, they naturally start to think about the person more frequently. By telling you she's been thinking about you, she's letting you know that you hold a special place in her thoughts, even during her busy moments. How to respond? Acknowledge it with warmth. Say something like, "That's really sweet." "What made you think of me?" or "I'm flattered." "What were you thinking about?" This creates an opportunity to deepen the conversation and show that you appreciate her gesture. Reciprocate if appropriate. If it's genuine, share something meaningful in return, like, "I've been thinking about you too." When she says, "I was thinking about you," it's a sign that you're becoming an important part of her life. Don't downplay it, acknowledge it and show her that you value the connection. 6. I've never told anyone this before. When a woman says, "I've never told anyone this before," she's sharing something that holds immense significance. This is a sign of trust, vulnerability, and emotional intimacy. She's revealing a part of herself that she doesn't easily share with others, and she's choosing you to be her confidant. This phrase typically arises in moments of deep conversation or when the bond between you has reached a level of mutual trust. It's her way of saying, "You're special to me, and I feel safe opening up to you." Recognizing the importance of this moment can strengthen your connection and take your relationship to the next level. How to respond? Listen attentively. Resist the urge to interrupt or shift the focus to yourself. Instead, respond with empathy by saying something like, "Thank you for trusting me with this. It means a lot." Validate her feelings. Acknowledge the significance of what she's shared. For example, you could say, "That sounds like it was really difficult," or "I admire your courage for sharing that with me." Avoid giving unsolicited advice. Sometimes, she just needs to feel heard and understood. Reciprocate if comfortable. Consider sharing something meaningful about yourself. This creates a mutual exchange of trust and vulnerability, further solidifying your bond. When a woman says, "I've never told anyone this before," she's offering you a rare and precious glimpse into her inner world. Responding with empathy and understanding not only strengthens the trust between you but also deepens the emotional connection. Moments like these are the foundation of meaningful and lasting relationships. The psychology behind these phrases. Psychologically, women's indirect communication is closely tied to the concepts of trust, emotional safety, and vulnerability. In a relationship, trust is foundational to emotional intimacy. Women often feel the need to build trust gradually before they expose their true feelings. Subtle expressions give them the opportunity to communicate their emotions without overwhelming the other person or exposing too much too soon. Understanding the psychology behind women's subtle expressions of emotion is crucial for building meaningful connections. By recognizing the underlying trust, emotional safety, and vulnerability at play, you can respond with greater empathy and awareness. This not only enhances your communication but also deepens the bond between you and the woman you're connecting with. How to respond thoughtfully. Responding to these phrases requires thoughtfulness, empathy, and authenticity. The key is to validate her emotions and show that you truly appreciate the vulnerability and trust she's placing in you. Here are a few tips. Acknowledge her vulnerability. When she shares something personal or emotional, acknowledge it. A response like, "I really appreciate you trusting me with that," helps her feel seen and heard. Respond with empathy. If she expresses affection or thoughts about you, respond with empathy. Say something like, "I'm flattered that you were thinking about me," or "I was thinking about you too." Encourage deeper conversation. When she opens up, ask open-ended questions like, "What made you think of that?" or "Tell me more about that." This keeps the conversation flowing and deepens the emotional bond. Share your own feelings. If you feel comfortable, share a personal experience or thought of your own in response. This keeps the exchange balanced and authentic. Common mistakes to avoid. While responding to these phrases, it's important to avoid common mistakes that could harm the connection. Don't be dismissive. If she shares something personal or vulnerable, don't brush it off. Always take her words seriously and show respect for her openness. Don't get defensive. If she shares something that makes you feel uncomfortable, don't become defensive or avoid the conversation. Instead, be open and acknowledge her feelings. Avoid overloading her with responses. If she shares something deep, give her space to express herself fully before responding. Bombarding her with too much information can derail the conversation and make her feel unheard. Conclusion: building deeper connections. Now that you have a deeper understanding of these subtle phrases and their emotional significance, it's time to put this knowledge into action. Pay attention to the conversations you have with women, not just for the words they say, but for the emotional tone and context behind them. Are you hearing any of these phrases? Are her actions and body language aligning with the words? Recognizing these signs will help you understand her feelings and navigate the stages of emotional connection with greater awareness. But remember, don't rush or push for answers. Allow the relationship to develop naturally. Stay present in the moment and be receptive to her cues. By observing these subtle signs, you'll become more attuned to her emotions and be better equipped to respond with empathy, understanding, and authenticity. This is how deeper connections are formed, built on mutual trust, respect, and emotional alignment. So start paying attention. Those small phrases might be saying more than you think. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who could benefit. Stay tuned for more insights into relationships and human psychology. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.